We're going to start with a little visual activity here. So I want you guys to look at the screen and then close your eyes. Imagine looking straight forward and seeing a 6 foot tall wave of heavy blue water towering above you. Your heart is racing, but so are your arms as you paddle anxiously, fueled by adrenaline and fear. You hope that you're going to make it over the waves. Your arms swing frantically, cupping the cold water with each stroke. Your legs kick back furiously, back and forth in the air, and your biceps burn. But sometimes your best effort isn't enough. You're positioned just too far away, and this is one of those times. In a split second, you realize your fate. You ditch your board, letting it float behind you, and you swim down, hoping to reach the small, calm reserve of the ocean floor beneath the thrash of the white water. But the second the wave hits, you feel like you've been hit by a bus. The energy of the wave hits you so hard that it knocks the wind out of you and spins you in every direction as you become a rag doll in the ocean's washing machine. No idea up from down, left from right. You panic trying to get to the surface for air, but you're unable to orient yourself. Panic makes you breathe faster, harder, when air is already in short supply. But you keep going, gasping for air until you miraculously break the surface. You catch your breath, shaking and coughing, and mount your board once again. But today was calm, aside from this one wave, and the rest of today remains that way. The sun is shining on your back, and the clear water is glistening and reflecting beautiful hues of blue and gold. You survived that one rogue wave and continued surfing. At the beach, the days that follow fluctuate between big, treacherous, heavy swell and small, peeling waves, but you go out regardless, able to surf and enjoy any conditions. Now, this description might remind you of a scene from an action movie, but it isn't. It's a description of life. Life is full of 6 feet rogue waves, unpredictable and draining events that occur seemingly out of nowhere, and the only way out is through. Sometimes life will thrash you around, it'll knock the wind out of you and leave you not knowing up from down, but you always come up again. In surfing, the amount that you struggle or the amount that you hurt is directly related to how you approach the water and perceive its unpredictabilities. The more you fight for air, the more you kick, the more you panic, the more you struggle. Your ability to surrender to the ocean and its strength, remaining calm, and allowing the present to be your reality is what keeps you safe. But what keeps you surfing is knowing that waves are rhythmic and temporary, coming and going. Similarly, in life, there will always be challenges, one after the other. Life is dynamic, but knowing how to ride the waves of life rather than fighting them will keep you not only safe, but lead you to a life full of contentment and joy. Now, you guys can open your eyes. We're going to assess the problem that I'm going to be talking about today. The problem: declining mental health. And this is like what happens when you have a big wipeout. As we all know, declining mental health is one of the biggest issues we face in society today. When negative events happen in our life or we face big pressure, our mental health struggles. This can be in addition to a pre-existing mental illness or be the cause of one. And this is especially true to already susceptible groups such as teenagers. To treat mental health, traditionally there's certain methods, but I think that the method I'm about to propose is the best one. So the group we're talking about is young adults and college students, but as you can see here, ages 18 to 25 are the most susceptible groups to mental health issues. In 2021, over 60% of college students met the criteria for one or more mental health problems, a nearly 50% increase from 2013. Young adults aged 18 to 25 had the highest prevalence of any mental illness, so this is a huge and very real problem. But traditional approaches aren't cutting it. Traditional therapy, so I'm talking sit down talk therapy, is inaccessible and impractical for college students. And we have to wonder why this is. College students are facing some of life's biggest transitions. The pressure to perform for good grades, a good career, good relationships, and a good life is immense. And at the same time, college students don't have time, funds, or resources to do traditional talk therapy. My solution: Cal Poly should implement a surf therapy program that partners local surf instructors with campus counselors to offer an accessible alternative approach to therapy, which improves student well-being. This leads me to my presentation, Learning to Ride the Waves of Life, Surf Therapy for Mental Health. So what is surf therapy? According to the International Surf Therapy Organization, surf therapy is defined as using surfing with therapeutic elements as means of promoting physiological, physical, and social well-being. You're combining counseling and surfing together to form something that's pretty therapeutic. But what would it look like at Cal Poly? So drawing from this definition, the program at Cal Poly would combine certified counselors from Cal Poly's counseling department with local surf instructors or even ASI student instructors to demonstrate how to support mental health via surfing. This program would require every student signed up for the Cal Poly therapy program to attend one in-house sit-down counseling session to identify issues and create goals to work towards in the water. Subsequently, students would meet at Morro Bay to surf. Instructors would start with a pre-surf lesson on the beach, talking about the healing properties of the water, how to translate and process the goals talked about in the session with the counselors into the water, and how to be successful in the ocean. Then the students would venture into the water and catch some waves. But what is it about surfing that solves this problem, solves the crisis of mental health in this age group? Surfing, as do other physical activities, releases endorphins, which are neurochemicals produced in your brain that bind to opioid receptors to block pain signals. Biologically, this evolved as a survival response during times of stress or physical activity. Endorphins not only block pain but increase pleasure. So think about running high. That euphoric feeling that you feel after a couple miles is caused by endorphins. And this also happens after catching a couple waves when surfing. Surfing also stimulates the part of your nervous system responsible for relaxation. The stimulation of this part of your nervous system lowers stress hormones, cortisol and epinephrine. These are the stress hormones that make us feel bad, that make us feel anxious, as they increase blood pressure, heart rate, and inhibit proper digestion. But aside from what's going on inside your body, being outdoors while surfing engages all 5 of your senses, making you present and contributing to a mindful, engaging experience. I can say firsthand, sometimes the best thing for your mental health is to get a break from the problems inside of your head and feel what's going on outside. Additionally, surfing exposes students to the sun, allowing them to get vitamin D, which we all know is a critical vitamin, but it's responsible for reducing inflammation, increasing immune function, and increasing the efficacy of glucose metabolism. So we don't get the draining sugar highs and lows that make us ultimately feel bad in the long run. But with the sunshine comes cold water. Although it can be unpleasant when you first submerge, cold water has a magnitude of health benefits. The National Library of Medicine did a study of 18-year-olds undergoing short exposure to cold water for at least 30 seconds and found that those who had reduction in inflammation and stress, as well as increased immunity and sleep control. And as if surf therapy couldn't get any more beneficial, it already addresses the social connection aspect. According to the Center for Disease Control, social connection is a powerful way to reduce feelings of loneliness, depression, anxiety, and even chronic illness. Though surfing with a group of students and connecting with instructors and counselors, students get to form a community and really be a part of something, which can decrease these lonely and sad feelings. But how is this feasible and how would it work at Cal Poly? Surf therapy is feasible for a multitude of reasons, including the location of Cal Poly, the cost, the availability of resources, and the fact that it's been proven to work elsewhere. Cal Poly is located on the coast, with Morro Bay being less than 20 minutes from campus. Once students arrive at Morro Bay, it's a widely accessible free space which anyone can visit at any time. The only cost associated with implementing a surf therapy program would be employing instructors and counselors. If the program already used employed campus counselors and ASI employees, just allocating them occasionally to this program, costs would be low. Poly Escapes has a variety of equipment to borrow, boards and wetsuits, and alternatively, companies could donate in good spirit. Other organizations and companies, such as the International Surf Therapy Organization, Surf Therapy, and Surf Limitless, have provided effective surf therapy in multiple parts of the world, so it's really proven to work. Challenges. There are some challenges that might be associated with not only surf therapy, but also when you look at the alternatives to surf therapy, such as traditional talk therapy, there's some things going on there that surf therapy can't address. So let's first talk about surf therapy specifically. Liability. There's liability issues as it includes an off-campus nature-based activity. Other means of supporting mental health, which are not surf therapy, as I was talking about, the talk therapy, virtual therapy, or apps, treat mental health from a different standpoint, but these alternative routes come with drawbacks. All right, to address liability, we can have students sign waivers to acknowledge the risks of surfing, which would help with the legal aspect of everything. Now, thinking about traditional talk therapy and those issues and how surf therapy can be a better alternative, we start with the stigma. Traditional therapy can be inaccessible and problematic for college age students, as I mentioned earlier. But really, any mental health treatment and solutions come with large stigma. For many people, especially our highly influential groups, which we saw before, which would be college students, are highly susceptible to stigmatic influence. The stigma also attributes to students not going to therapy or not displaying vulnerability, which is a requirement for the treatment to be effective. So there's really no point if you can't do that. Being deterred by the stigma, many college students veer away from traditional therapy, leaving their mental health needs unmet. Surf therapy allows students to support their mental health stealthily. They're just engaging in a cool local activity that many of their peers do and their community support. Therapy apps and virtual therapy can be an option, but they isolate patients to their screen. Surf therapy's socialization aspect and connection to others makes this method a far better choice compared to traditional talk therapy. In conclusion, to combat the mental health crisis affecting college students, Cal Poly should implement a surf therapy program because of its physiological, mental, and social benefits. Aspects of mental health struggles, such as isolation, poor mood, anxiety, lack of confidence, can be treated by properties of surf therapy. Isolation can be met with social connection. Poor mood can be met with the release of serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins associated with the exercise aspect. Anxiety can be met with mindfulness. Lastly, learning how to overcome waves and other ocean challenges builds confidence and grit. Surf therapy is a feasible, cost-effective, proven way to support students by neglecting the stigma around mental health, unlike traditional therapy, and framing it as a way for students to connect with nature and look inside themselves. Framing it in this way encourages more students to be engaged and vulnerable, allowing for real change. And the life lessons that you get in surf therapy are applicable to any area of life. Learning to ride waves, learning that life is dynamic, a cycle of highs and lows, learning to approach setbacks, learn how to experience challenges in the most enjoyable path of least resistance, and understanding the timing and consistency of waves translate to knowing that nothing is forever, no rough period or low period in your life, but you can count on there always being more challenges and triumphs. Ideally, the outcome would be that if students can ride the waves of life, take sets on the head, accepting reality and going with the flow, knowing that there will always be more waves, more good times, even more bad, they will become equipped to tackle any challenge in life with grace and success, learning to enjoy more and struggle less. Thank you so much.